Today, I'm going to teach you how to detox your mind and become the new you, the new 2.0 you that maybe you've been trying to become for quite some time. So that's what we're going to talk about today in this video. This is video number 57 of 365. And my name is Samantha, and I'm doing a video every day for a whole year to get over my fear of public speaking and social anxiety. And on top of that, I'm a therapist in private practice and I love it. And I want to be your self-mastery mentor. So that's what I'm doing on this channel, is just trying to get out into the world that we can create our own reality, and you can change from the old you to the new you any moment you decide to. And we kind of have trouble doing that, I think, sometimes because we're just so addicted to the old way of thinking. And when we treat it almost like an addiction, we say, this is an addiction. What do I need to do here? Maybe we need to do our own 12-step program. Maybe I need to come up with a 12-step emotional detox program or something, like the 12 steps in the addiction program. We might have to do something like that. Maybe that'll be my next video. We'll see. I have to come up with lots of ideas, so maybe we can do that. What we need to do to manifest and to just be happy in general, it's really creating a good foundation for yourself. And because I really think that, if something is not built on a strong foundation, just like a house, if a house is built on sand, eventually it's going to crumble. It's just going to fall down the hill or fall into the sand pit. And so that's kind of how we are. It's like, if our minds are not solid and we're not convicted in what we want, then it's like any moment now, it can just fall down the hill or fall down like lava on a volcano. It just kind of seeps down the volcano as it's coming down and coming out and going down. And so there's lots of metaphors I like to use just to try to see if it'll help you guys kind of connect some things and look at it in different ways than maybe you've looked at it before. So if you don't have a good, solid mentality, then nothing else is really going to be very solid. It's going to feel like good for a little while, and then back to the same old self, the same old way of thinking. Even when you do get what you want, a lot of times you'll find that you get it and then the newness wears off, and then the stress comes in, and then the complaints start again. And pretty soon you forget why you wanted that thing in the first place and how beautiful it was when you first got it. So this can apply to marriages and relationships a lot. And so we forget why we fell in love with the person we got with in the beginning. And little cracks start to infiltrate the foundation unless you have a solid foundation built. So I really have a passion for helping people keep their relationships solid as well. So I'll be talking about that as we go along too. But number one, the relationship with yourself is most important, and that is part of the foundation. If you have a solid mentality, a solid belief system and value system within yourself, that's where you can really start to materialize what you're wanting. Because the way you see yourself and the way that you believe in yourself or not will create your life from that. So I want you to think about, where are you thinking lackful thoughts and where are you thinking abundant thoughts? And lack is going to be more the complaining side, the I've always been this way, I don't know how to change, or this always happens to me. Those types of things are more lack and kind of the victim mentality. I hate saying the word victim, but that's where we're at. We're like, I'm feeling sorry for myself, that type of thing. Or just revisiting the old memories sometimes. It's like when you revisit an old memory, it's like it's happening right now because the brain doesn't know the difference. And so the amygdala, which is in the brain, it's a part of the brain that kicks on. It's like the fear center. It does not know anything. The hypothalamus is what kicks it in. all these other, areas in the brain, they tell the amygdala, hey, kick on, because we've got some fear, dangerous things going on right here that need to cause some fear. So the amygdala kicks on, and that's all we see is that fearful situation. That may not even be an actual fearful situation. It might just be triggered from something that looks similar or feels similar. That's how our brain works. It doesn't know what is true or false. It just kind of brings up what it's always brought up. And so we have to really keep that in mind, that we have to start overriding the encoding that we've had and the imprints that have imprinted over the years, because the more that you imprint something, the more it's like encoded in you. And so we got to change the imprinting, change the encoding by creating new neural pathways. And so you've been doing this your whole life just by default. It's just kind of happened because you had other programming going on. And when you're conscious of this knowledge, which I feel should be common knowledge out there, pass this on to anybody, because this is not something, again, that is talked about enough. We need high school classes, and we need this to start in kindergarten, really. Daycare before kindergarten. We need this to start in homes, and kids need to know how to regulate their emotions. And adults don't even know how to regulate their emotions. So we really need to get out there and teach the kids these things, which I have a passion for doing as well. But it's just like knowing that whatever you're thinking is, the more you think it, the more it's encoding, and the more your body feels it, your mind feels it, your brain's like, okay, that's true, because whatever you tell it, it thinks is true. And so it just keeps going from there. And then pretty soon you've got a disorder going on, because you've thought so many bad thoughts that have hurt you all these years that pretty soon you're anxious about this thing, because there's so many other thoughts that you had regarding that one thing over and over and over. So we've got to override those old thoughts. And so that takes some conscious awareness of, what am I thinking about? And what do I want to think about? Because the world is the way that it is. We know this. We know, we understand. There are things going on right now, and always will be, that we don't like. And so the whole premise of what I want to just give to people is that there's nothing more important than that you feel good in the moment. What is more important than that? Acknowledging what's true in the world, or you feeling better? Do you not feel like you deserve to feel better? Do you feel like you deserve to think about things that make you feel bad all the time just because they're true? That's something to really think about. That's why I preach this whole self-concept. We got to feel good about ourselves and worthy and deserving. And until we get there, we might not be able to change the depression that we're feeling, or the anxiety, or the insomnia, or all those other things, that the panic and the grief and all of these things we go through as humans that we create in our minds. We create suffering in our minds. It's all in the prison of the mind is suffering. And so it's like, when are you going to break out of that prison? You can decide to do that at any moment. And part of that is, if we watch the news, let's say, and we acknowledge what's going on out there, they, whoever they is, the big they out there, they are profiting off that. There's we could go into conspiracy all we want. Maybe someday we'll do a live like that about conspiracies. I don't know. That could go down a whole rabbit hole. But there are people out there profiting off of us being sick and being sad. And people do not profit off wellness. They profit off sickness. And so I had to choose, because I used to watch the news and I used to read, really sad things and, that are going on, stories and things like that. And it's like, I don't have to do that to myself anymore. I don't have to feel badly just because I need to know what's going on in the world. And you have to make that choice. It's not that we're putting our heads in the sand or anything, but we kind of are. Be an ostrich, put your head in the sand a little bit. If you're suffering in any form in your life, you're choosing to do that. And so if you choose just for a second to say, What if I deserve more than feeling bad? What if I am addicted to feeling bad? What if I'm addicted to the outside world so much that I'm believing everything that's around me and I'm just going to live like that? Some people do want to live like that, and I'm not going to take that away from anybody. Some people are comfortable the way that they are, and that's okay. But I'm more speaking to my audience of people who actually really do want to change something, and they're curious about that at least. Maybe a little skeptical. I like the skeptics because it's just you against you. So the more you practice, the more you'll see that this actually does work for you and not against you. And I just believe that anything that makes you feel down, you're giving your power away to it. And so the power is within you, and you're creating your perceptions of everything. So really always remember that anything outside of you that is taking your power, you're allowing it to take your power from you. You're allowing it to make you feel a certain way. Every single event is neutral. You get to decide if it's good or bad. I mean, we could look at every bad worldwide thing that's going on yes, it looks bad. Yes, it does. In every way, it's valid. Or we could say, but from this could come from this. Or this is teaching the world more about peace or more about love through hate. Sometimes through hate, we learn love and we learn grace. And it's just amazing how that can happen to certain people, because it's like when you get what you don't want, you really start to know what you do prefer and what you really want from that. And sometimes you don't know what you want until you know what you don't want. And there's that contrast there that kind of shows you who you are and where you might want to go next. So, I think that the more you focus on what am I thinking, what am I believing, what do I want to change about the way I'm feeling, what am I giving my power to, what dysfunction am I creating in my life that could be functional, that could be adaptive versus maladaptive, because we basically are daydreaming all day long. So it's like maladaptive daydreaming. It's just like, do we want adaptive or maladaptive? Keep that in mind. Do I want to allow or resist? Because your mind is just going and going by itself. Keep that in mind. You got to train it like an animal and tell it to sit and be still. And even for 5 seconds, put down that phone, get that phone out of here for about a week and see how you feel. Get the dopamine detox out, in motion. We got to detox our minds because it's toxic right now. Your mind is toxic and it's addicted to certain things. And it's kind of like, I think that we really do awaken. I know we hear that term like enlightenment and awakening and being woke, whatever. There's just lots of terms for it. But I really think that as you start to do this work on you, you'll notice that you really were asleep in certain areas. And you do feel more awake, like your eyes are more open to seeing a different perspective. So that's what I want to be here for you is to kind of awaken you to a different perspective that maybe you haven't ever thought of. And maybe you didn't know it might have been beneficial to you either. Sometimes we think that, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I like my beliefs and I like my values and I like this. But then I will talk to people that say that, and then we'll get to talking about something and then it pops up, whatever that limiting belief is. It always pops up. There's always something. It doesn't matter who you are. There's always something in there that might be running the show in the background. So keep that in mind, and always come back to yourself and remember that your foundation is built from yourself. That is where we are creating a solid mentality, a solid foundation to where you can then start determining, okay, I'm safe within myself. I've got a good foundation laid here. Now let's build. What do we want to build? And that's your next step. What do you want to build? What do you think you're capable of? Because your beliefs are the only thing in your way. It first starts with a thought, and everything starts with a thought. If you think about everything in the world, it all started with a thought, and it just perpetuated and kept going, and then it became a belief system. And then it became circumstances, and boom, it manifested, whatever it is. And so the only thing stopping you, the only thing preventing you from manifesting something is your belief in yourself. And most of the time, we do not think we can have certain things. And so keep that in mind, that you deserve the best always, even though you've probably not even realized maybe that you were telling yourself you weren't deserving. There's that going on in the background too, that sometimes we don't even realize, because these beliefs are so ingrained in us that we just don't even believe that we could have the money we want, or the house we want, or the spouse we want, or the respect that we want, or all of these things. We think that we don't deserve it because of something deep-seated from our childhood that may be just in there. But that's why I like to go a little bit back to kind of think about some belief systems that you have, because you can manifest anything, and you can manifest it fairly quickly, but can you keep it? And the whole point of life is to feel good. So I feel like if you go back and you're able to identify some limiting beliefs and let them go, that you're going to be not only manifesting things, but keeping everything. And then on top of that, feeling good inside yourself. I want you guys to feel so happy and so content every day, so satisfied, that it does not matter if you were to be blind and deaf in a wheelchair someday. You'd still be happy inside. That is my goal. I know that sounds morbid, but that's how I think. I'm just like, I wonder how I would feel if that were to happen to me. How would I create happiness? Because you have to generate happiness from within. And there's the, is it Man's Search for Meaning? I think it's Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. I love that book. And he found happiness in a concentration camp, pretty much is the premise. And so there are people that have found, happiness in prison. But really, it's the prison that you're in is in your mind. It really, truly is. And so when you remember that you're only causing your own suffering daily, remember that you have to decide, I have to break out of this prison. How am I going to do this? This starts with a solid mentality, the foundation, letting go of some of the things you've been holding on to, and renaming them, like giving them a new meaning that we may have been holding on to. Oh, my ex, they suck because of this, or this person hurt me. This is a big one. I think we all hold on to this. This person hurt me, so I have a right to feel this way. Yes, you do. I promise you. I've been there. I'm still there sometimes. There are people that have hurt me so badly in my life, so badly, and I didn't deserve it. But you can choose to hold on to that, or you can choose to let that go for your sake. That's what forgiveness actually is too. Forgiveness means just letting go of resentment. Forgiveness has this big label on it, I guess, that, oh, well, if I forgive somebody, then that sets them free. And it's like, no, it just means letting go of resentment, because if you're holding on to resentment in your body and your mind, you're operating off of that energy of resentment, which means you're putting the energy of resentment out into your world where people can actually feel it. But the most important thing is you can feel that, and you're holding on to that. And then pretty soon it can fester into a disease, mental or physical, and then you got yourself a problem. So I'm wanting to help you prevent these problems. Every physical ailment starts in the mind. I believe every issue in general that we say is an issue starts in the mind. It's from an emotional place, because it's emotionally charged. And those old memories that you have, that you bring up into today, which is even that divorce that you had, or that friendship that went, terrible, or that business deal that you got, screwed out of $100,000, or whatever has happened to you in your life. Every time you bring that up into your now moment, it's muddying up your now. Remember from a bunch of videos back, I talked about creating your little sanctuary, and it's like, just your now is your little sanctuary, and you've got this, golden gate around it, and it's got guards at the doors. What are you going to let in? Those guards should be guarding all the bad thoughts coming in. We don't want to muddy the sanctuary. We want to keep it very, beautiful in there and peaceful. That's what we want to do. And then from there, you can create a whole lot of great stuff because you've got this awesome foundation laid for yourself. So it all starts in the mind. It all starts with a decision saying that I am worthy and deserving. Or if you don't believe it yet, say, can I start to believe that I could be these things? How great would that be if this actually worked out? That's a good affirmation. This can be easy. Or what if this could be easy? What if I could start making this easy on myself? What if? I've always thought if somebody else did something that you want to do, I don't care how they did it. I just see that somebody else did it and I'm like, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. I used to not think that way, but that came from old programming that took away my what's it called? My deservability, I guess. My capability. I thought I couldn't do it. And then I started telling myself, I started realizing that a limiting belief I had was I am incapable or I'm not capable. So I started saying I am capable. And then that just started going from there where I believed I can do anything. And then I just really started thinking about it. I was like, as I learned about the laws and everything, I would see somebody that made, $1 million in a day. And I thought, if they can do that, the information that they're putting out there, and this is a speaker. This is just a speaker he's an amazing speaker. $1 million in a day. In fact, I think it was in an hour, actually. Amazing. I know that information he put out there. You could learn that information he put out there. Can you make $1 million in an hour? Yeah. If somebody else can do it, you can too. I'm real big on that $1 million. I just think it sounds cool to say $1 million. We should also focus on love and respect and values as well. But I just love the $1 million thing. I just think it sounds so cool because you just don't hear a lot of people being able to make that much money in an hour or in a day. So I think it's super, super inspiring to think about that something so outlandish could actually happen to you. So keep that in mind, that anything that you want, you can have. You're capable of anything. You just have to believe that you can. It's just you against you. You got to break out of that prison. Let me see. Yes, you can imagine things that give you a good feeling. They don't have to be real or logical. Remember that too. Nothing has to be real or logical. Just imagine it and feel that good feeling that it gives you. What if this could happen to me? Feel that great feeling. And enjoy it. And I will leave you with that today. I will be back tomorrow, and you guys have a wonderful day. I hope you're all doing, as I'm tongue tied. Rewind. Hope you all are doing wonderful. I hope you're doing fabulous. I hope you're believing in yourself just as I believe in you today. Really take that with you during your evening tonight. I'm filming in the morning today, so you'll get this tonight as usual. I may start changing my times when I upload. I don't know. I'm learning YouTube. I'm still learning. So this is a process for sure. Big process. I'm going to learn some more targeted ways to, title, and my videos are going to start. Some of them are going to be more step by step, and so I'll get there. I'm just learning, and for now, it's just coming off the top of the head. So the top of the dome, as they say. So yeah, I'll let you guys go today, and I hope you have a wonderful day or evening, and I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your comments and your likes, and please like, share, subscribe, and share this with someone who might need it today. And thanks for listening, and I love you all. Have a great day. Bye.